Hey everyone, so this is the look which is going to be the first of the party season or festive season party looks for this year, and it was based loosely off this Halloween makeup that I did for my sister, which is this look. So you can see that this was a bit more glitzy and stuff, but I wanted the one for this tutorial to be a little bit more wearable, so here's how I did it. So after getting the hair out of my face, obviously, I started with putting a little bit of primer around the central area of my face. And then for foundation, I've kind of been using my Dermablend like stick concealer foundation a little bit lately when I'm a bit lazy, because it works as a 2-in-1. It's concealer and foundation in one pretty much. And you just have to make sure you use like a small stubby brush to blend it in really well. This is one of the brushes from the current MAC Christmas collection, the 130 I believe. And then I used a little bit of an under eye concealer just around the darker areas of my eyes. I applied a little eyeshadow primer to the eye area. This will help prevent creasing with the coat pencil that I use as a base underneath the eyeshadow. And in this case I used MAC's Feline, as it's just such a nice black soft coat pencil. And I applied this into the waterline to begin with, tight lined the top waterline as well, and then applied it over my top lash lines and used a short stumpy brush to blend this out. I then used whatever was left on the brush to apply underneath the lower lash line to get a little bit of colour down there as base. So for my iridescent powder, I used a Fardell shimmering powder. I'm really not sure if it's 909 or 606, it could be either. But it's this beautiful beige powder, but when you put it over a dark base, it turns this gorgeous like purpley blue. But there's so many different brands that do similar powders. Barry Collection 2000, there's loads of very inexpensive ones available out there, so don't worry too much about getting exactly what I have. And then I applied this to the center of the eyelid, as well as to my brow bone and to the inner corner of the eyes. So I'm using my favourite palette at the moment here, which was a quad from the MAC Me Over collection by MAC, which was out recently. And I will name all the colours on my blog so you can see what I've used on LetzMakeup.com. But the first colour here is very, very similar to almost like MAC's Shale, which is like an off grey with a hint of purple and pink going through it. And I applied that all over my crease area. Then I used the darker purple, which would maybe be more like Fig 1 or just any matte dark purple you have. And I applied this to the inner and outer corners of my eyes around where I put the Fardell iridescent powder. So I added more colour as needed and just made sure it was blended really well. And then I got a clean blending brush to make sure that the edges are really well blended. My favourite brush to use for below my lash line, my lower lash line, is my NYX Smudge brush, which is this tiny, tiny little eyeshadow brush. I just find it gets really, really close in up between the lashes. So I use this to apply some of that lighter grey, shimmery grey colour to the inner section of my lower lash line. And I applied dark purple to the rest of the lash line. I went back to my larger blending brush and used that to smoke the line out a wee bit. Then going back into the same palette, I went into a dark grey that has a subtle shimmer to it. It'd be a little bit like maybe Night Divine by MAC. and I use that to really darken out the outer corner and to deepen the crease of my eyelid. So next, using an angled brush and the brown from the palette, which is just a really deep warm brown, I applied this to my eyebrows to really give them a little bit more definition and polish them off a wee bit. Then to add a little bit more oomph to the inner corners of my eye, I use this really light blue iridescent powder. This one's by Bourjois, and I'm sure it's probably not even there anymore, but any light blue powder will do. Again, there's so many inexpensive brands you can find in all drugstores now that do light powders. And I applied this just to the inner corner and used my brush to blend it out a wee bit again. So for the glitter, I'm using Transparent Reflex Pink by MAC, which is a pro product. And I applied this over some Makeup Forever's Eye Seal, which is like, it's like a watery type liquid, but it almost acts like hairspray, so it really sticks everything to it fairly well. And I just used whatever was in the lid of the little container I have my glitter in, because there's plenty in that, and applied it just by patting it over the eye seal. I applied a wee bit of the glitter as well to the lower inner corners of my eyes. To line my upper lash line, I used this liquid crystal eyeliner by NYX in Crystal Onyx, and it's just basically a black eyeliner that has a wee bit of glitter going through it. So I applied that to the top lash line in kind of one of my, typical shapes, and applied a wee bit of a flick in a wing to the outer corner before applying plenty of black mascara to both my top and bottom lashes. I use the Vichy Derma Blend powder to set my base, as this, when it's mixed with the Vichy the Derma Blend foundation concealer, it pretty much makes it sweat proof, so it's good for a night out, not having to worry about touching up your foundation. And then for my cheekbones, for highlight, I used the Fardell powder again and used a small round brush just to apply that to the high points of my cheeks. And then I used a light contour powder just to hollow out the cheeks and give myself a little bit more defined cheekbones. I wanted to keep my lips fairly nude, so I'm using one of the new MAC Pro Longwear lip liners in Staunchly Stylish. And this, seriously, once it's on your lips, it's not moving, so it's brilliant for, minimal touch-ups and great for a night out. And then I used a nude lipstick. I can't remember exactly who this one is from, maybe Daniel Sandler or Cole, but it's just micro nude, so it's a nice neutral lip colour. And then applied that mainly to the centre of the lips and just blended it in with the lip liner using a small brush. And then you're done. So I hope you liked it, guys. Go to LetzMakeup.com again if you want to see a full list of the products that I used. And in the meantime, thanks a million for watching. Chat soon. So long, guys.